Hello, everyone. Another episode of United World of Sports. This is Dante Suave. This is episode 37. As you can see, I'm rolling solo today. Mr. J will be back next week due to unforeseen circumstances. Drew is no longer with us. I wish him the best. Hopefully things work out. Maybe he comes back. But until then, as they say, on with the show, right? So we're gonna start off today. Today's topic. Here's a question. Does everybody owe Jerry an apology? Well, what could you be talking about, Dante? Well, as everybody heard, Micah, it wasn't just a contract thing. There was something actually wrong with his back. So Jerry not wanting to pay him, bringing up injury. It appears that maybe Jerry knew more than we knew, and because of that, and I still say that part of it was also he didn't like the vibe of, at least according to his wording, the way he worded everything. That's what I'm going off of. When you look at somebody, you tell them, "Well, I got him under contract. He ain't going nowhere." And it's like, so you talk to him about his contract. He say cool. Then he call you back, and then he tells you not to call him no more, to talk to his agent. That coupled with the injury that now appears to be serious, and that apparently there was a plan in place to help Michael with his injury in Dallas. So everybody getting on Jerry, not giving him a pass. He should have talked to the agent before anybody try to start in the comments. I'm not giving that man a pass. He should have talked to the agent. It's in the CBA. You want the players to follow the rules and toe the line, whether they like it or not. Then the owners should have to do the same thing, right? You would think. So now we got this new dynamic that basically, through no fault of his own, I know people ain't gonna do it because Jerry is the owner, but at least for me, Jerry comes out smelling like roses on this. He's a businessman. He made a business move, and he came out. He coming out smelling roses on this financially. Now his reputation, which he's not worried about what people think. He's so much a set up. So just in case there's people that don't know, the L4 L5 facet joint sprain, and I'm getting this according to biologyinsights.com. It says the L4 L5 facet joint sprain is a condition that can cause significant pain and discomfort in the lower back. It is often caused by sudden movements during loading, or such as lifting, or sustained strain on the lower back. Symptoms may include stiff lower back, pain in the joint or surrounding structures, difficulty turning or bending in certain directions. Diagnosis is typically made by a physiotherapist or a doctor through a physical examination and discussion of the injury's history. So treatments include rest, ice, heat, over-the-counter medications, as well as physical therapy and chiropractic care to manage the symptoms and improve the quality of life. Yeah. Okay. So I'm no doctor, but it seems to me that whatever this issue is, it doesn't sound like it'll completely go away. So where does that leave Micah? Where does this leave Green Bay? And they just gave him an $188 million contract. He's supposed to show up on Sunday and play and help the defense. Let me take a look real quick and get a quick reminder of who they're playing on Sunday. They are playing the Detroit Lions. Okay. Hey, oh, hey. That is not, hey, look, that is not the time to have back issues, okay? That is not the time at all. Not the time to have back issues. So, wow. Um, so that's gonna be interesting. Best of luck to Micah. This whole thing, that whole thing in Dallas, it shouldn't have gone on as long as it did. And that's another thing that could be held against Jerry. Some might argue against both. Technically, you would have a point, but at the end of the day, Jerry was the one not willing to talk to the agent. Therefore, he foots. Michael was a participant, obviously, so he gets participation points. But other than that, it's Jerry, talk to the damn agent. Jesus Christ! I know you're the owner. You own the billion dollar playpen down there in Arlington. We know you are the man. You you make business moves and everything, and the money flows like water. Uh, um, hell, you got the richest team in the league. It's obvious that your business acumen is there, but when will the fans get to see the Cowboys hoist another Lombardi? Okay, that's the question. Yes, all your business acumen and your millions and making it rain and how primetime players used to say, money, money, yeah, money, yeah. That's all fine and dandy, Jerry. But here's the deal at the end of the day. Where's the Lombardi? You ain't had one since 95, 96. I graduated in 96, Jerry. I graduated in 96. That's a long time. I'm 48 years old, bro. That's a long time. All due respect, sir. You are business wise and the marketing, you are the man. When you gonna get back to the championships? When is the standard gonna get set back to everybody that walk in that door? We going for championships. Period. Everybody will toe the line. We will be team oriented, and we will be Super Bowl focused. We will be division title focused. I used to laugh at the pundits when they would talk about every year, like the Cowboys this, they're gonna win the division. And I would just laugh at them. I'm like, bro. And then it got to the point where I think it was like after like 5 years of it, the pundits was just like, you know what? Go out there and show me something, Dallas. I've been rah you, and you just it keep blowing up in my face. At this point, I, y'all got the team to go out there and do your thing. Go out there, win the division, get back to the championship, and it hasn't happened yet. So is in all your infinite wisdom, Jerry, of the marketing and all your infinite wisdom of just being clearly a successful businessman. Kudos to you on that. Where them Lombardi's at, man? Where the Lombardi's at? Where's the conference championships? Where is the division titles? The dominance to go along with the nickname America's team. Where are the championships and the division titles to go along with the hey, we are the Dallas Cowboys? Where they at? And when they gonna start coming? I know it's not in your hands technically. Technically, it's in the hands of the coach you hired. technically it's in the hands of the players you paid, Dak, as well as everybody on the offense, everybody on the defense. It's been proven that you don't necessarily have to have household names to win Super Bowls. Kansas City is the most recent to have proven it. They walked away. They walked away from Tariq, and they've been back to Super Bowls. So we know it can be done, right? So there begs the question. Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones. Where's my Super Bowl trophy? But seriously, where they at? You know, when is it gonna? You couldn't get a sniff of them when y'all kept 9 Pro Bowlers on both sides of the ball. Now y'all don't have that, and y'all still have Dak, which Dak is a talented dude. But at the end of the day, and I still stand by what I say, Dak is Tony Romo with better scrambling ability and less fourth quarter comebacks. I'll have to look and see if that updated. I know Romo used to have a lead over him. I don't know if Dak may have taken that from him. We'll talk about. I'll look that up and get back to you next week. But in all seriousness, it's unfortunate. Micah statistically deserved to get paid, but Jerry said something that had been getting said about about Micah when he was there. He tends, don't know if it's his cardio or what's going on, but towards the end of the season, he kind of disappears. When it comes to the run game, he kind of disappears. So the stats is good. Stats are great. But how did the stats come about in terms of helping the team win? Whether it's him, whether it's Trey, both talented dudes. It would be disrespectful to say otherwise. But at the same time, you can acknowledge a truth. Trey, past 2 years, sack him. Sack him. Sack him and stack him. Sack him and stack him. But yet the Bengals, defensively, weren't great. And that was part of that was a big part of why they sat at home. There were some other factors, but at the end of the day, Bengals defense can't be relied on for four quarters, especially if there's turnovers involved. But back to Dallas and back to Micah. I wish him the best of luck. I hope he figures this out because, quite honestly, if I could go back and change anything, I would try to see if I could handle life because I loved football and I loved basketball. And I would have loved to have played either one of them. But my life was crazy. And it got to the point where I looked up and I was a senior. And I was like, okay, I got to make sure I graduate. I didn't put my best foot forward, but I did graduate. Chemistry class and my teacher for the chemistry class. That dude he was a monster. Shout out to Aiken High School. That's where I graduated from. Although football wise, I'm always going to be a Mustang. It is what it is. But anyway, so just to wrap this up so we can move on, Micah has a L4, L5 facet joint sprain. According to what I'm reading here, hopefully it's accurate. This sounds like this could be an issue if Micah's not staying on top of it. So hopefully he is able to stay on top of it, and hopefully he's able to do great things for the Packers. And who knows if he's able to be who he is in the throw game and improve his ability to be a defender in the run game, Packers may actually be in the hunt for Lombardi, which would be the ultimate revenge, which would be wow. Because at the end of the day, Jerry listens to the money. Even though I know that it's cliche, because at the end of the day, for example, you got people, stuff happening in wrestling that make them mad. The first thing they say, man, I ain't watching wrestling no more. Now, there's actually some people that actually turn around and do it. I actually found that out. I found that out over the years. There's actually some people that actually turned around and did it. They said that they wasn't going to watch it no more. But that's what you're going to have to do, Dallas fans. Y'all may have to stop going to the $1 billion playpen. He have a big time concert. Y'all gonna have to go. Hey, can I watch it on TV? Watch it for about 5 minutes and then turn the TV off. You're gonna have to affect the money. You going to the practices and yelling for him to pay people. Jerry ain't worried about that, but Jerry would be worried if that money start taking a hit. Another example of that Minnesota Vikings when Adrian Peterson got in trouble for whooping his child with a switch. Minnesota didn't do nothing at first. They were letting everything play out. Adrian was still allowed to show up. People were mad. But what made them change? Well, one of the big shareholders said, if he continues to show up every week, we pulling out. And the money talked. And they said, sorry, Adrian, you gotta go home. And then he ended up being mad because when he actually got in trouble in court for it, he actually had to serve another suspension, which he was mad because he thought that the one that Minnesota gave him was the one from the NFL. But no, that was Minnesota covering their booty, their financial booty, argument, financial booty. Ha ha ha. You know? So, but yeah, and I'm definitely intrigued with Dallas. I definitely want to watch as many games as I can now because now I want to see what that defense look like. I want to see how the team is going to react uh to not only the trade but to make a perfect segue to one of his former teammates getting the bag after he got traded. And that takes us into Deron Bland. Deron Bland hit the jackpot, so to speak. According to Bobby Kalnick, hopefully I said that right. He's a digital content producer. This is a article on around the NFL, and according to this, says Deron Bland got a $92 million contract extension that includes 50 million guaranteed. Good Lord. I'm sorry. And this is me thinking like I'm thinking now, not thinking like if I was a player. What do they do with all that money? I think I would be good with just one of those contracts. But I digress. It's easy for me to say because I'm in the position I am now. And so you know what? I would actually love to have that problem to see how I would really react and see what I would do. So, but let's see here. His average annual salary will be 23 million, which makes him the sixth highest paid cornerback in the league. So it's time to put up or shut up for him, for Trey Diggs. It's time. Y'all get out there, y'all do that thing. But can you get out there and do that thing and it equate to making the defense better? And I know what I just said. It's like, dude, you sound stupid. But think about it. We just talked about Micah. I just talked about Trey. They had great stats, but they didn't make. They're no Chris Jones. They're no Myles Garrett. They're no Hutchinson. They're no Max Crosby. You definitely see a difference in the defense when you pull those guys out. TJ Watt, he's another one. You see a difference. But yeah, bottom line, hey, I wanted to talk about that contract extension because I thought it was funny. Because I also, hey, I want to know. I want to know how that contract extension came to be. Let's see here. Let's look this up real quick. Who is Deron Bland's agent? Josh Arnold. I want to know, according to on3.com, Josh Arnold is his agent. I want to know, did Jerry talk to Josh Arnold or did he talk to DaRon Bland? How did I want to know how that went down? With all this months and months and months of hoopla and BS, I honestly want to know how that went down. Inquiring minds want to know. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Hee ho ho. So they got a lot of questions going on right now. Micah's gone. Dak's coming back off of injury. He's gonna have to try to he's mature, but he's gonna have to try to keep what's his dynamic gonna be like with CD, and what's his dynamic gonna be like now that Pickens is there, and we know that if Pickens doesn't isn't getting the ball, how is he gonna act down in Dallas? Is he gonna act on the field and in the locker room like he did in Pittsburgh, which got him basically helped to get him out? Everybody don't act like you got amnesia. You know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about. I even saw him when he was angry getting unnecessary penalties. That was costing the team yards and stuff like that. You have a right to act how you want to act, obviously, but let's call a spade a spade. Can you can you tell me how many people or how many teams acted like that and not only dominated their division, but dominated the NFL? Just point the people out to me. What team they were on? How many years did they dominate? Yes, I said years. I said years, not year, years. How many years did they dominate? How many Super Bowls? Because at the end of the day, that's your job. Get Super Bowls, get conference championships, stay deep in the playoffs, have a winning record. That's your job. Do your job. As the Bengals shirt that got created when Marvin was with the Bengals. I actually have that shirt. But with that, we are going to move on. Like I said, congratulations to DaRon Bland. Hopefully he gets out there week one and he helps the Dallas defense shine because offensively there's a lot of questions and they're gonna need a lot of help from that defense, especially now that Micah's gone. So with that, we are going to move to college football. Look at me. I already want the basketball season to start. College basketball, college football is what we're talking about. And you know what? We're gonna start it out. We're gonna talk about my boys. We're gonna talk about my boys. Them Florida Seminoles. Yes, I'm a Michigan fan, but yeah, I've been down with the Seminoles. I've been down with the Seminoles as long as I've been down with my Wolverines. So Bobby Bowden, congrats to my boys. I didn't watch the whole game. Saturday was second half day for me. I watched a bunch of games, but by the time I turned them on, it was always at the start of the third quarter. I don't know how that happened for a whole night, but it did. And what I will say is this: second half that I watched, my Florida State Seminoles, there was some hiccups. I feel like they was lucky they was at home because the calls got a little tricky. But but at the end of the day, that defense, They gave you some flashbacks. They gave you some flashbacks to how physical they were. I'm liking it, and I hope they can pull that off every week. And I'm glad that they I respect Bama, cool with Bama, even when Nick Saban was there. Uh, but it did my heart good after what happened with the whole 12-0, players leaving, quarterback was hurt, they couldn't get into the playoff, and they ended up uh putting whatever team they put on the field, and they got shellacked 63-3, and the Georgia coach was pissed because he it's like he took the win, but he took it begrudgingly, which I can identify with that because that's how I felt about the New England Patriots Seattle Super Bowl win. It was like, I would have preferred them stop Lynch on the one, but but uh, but anyway, and then what's gonna happen with Kalen DeBoer? There's been a lot of talk, people questioning, uh, you know, what's gonna happen with him, and uh Colin Hurd said it best. People gonna have to think before they fire people now. Cause I looked up his buyout. He gets 90% of $63 million. So it would be approximately $60 million. If he's it says this article, which I found on second CBS Sports. I found it on CBS Sports. Talks about what his buyout would be. He just signed a $63 million contract to be the successor to one Nick Saban. According to this, if he's fired on December 1st, 2025, he would get 90% of the contract. So he would walk out the door with $60 million. That's painful. So I don't foresee them parting ways. Call it a hunch. Because that's a lot of money to part ways with. And then you're going to bring in another coach that you're going to be paying about that, if not more, to replace him. I like the way they worded it, though. It said, if DeBoer is fired without cause, he would earn. So wait, what if he's fired with cause? Because the cause is Bama looking like hot horse manure. I remember that loss. I remember that loss last year to Vanderbilt. That was hilarious. Basically, Vandy was all in on the NIL and transfer portal, and they brought players that was good enough that they beat Bama last year. I actually watched that game. I sat there shocked. Not as shocked as I was when my Wolverines beat Ohio State last year, but I was shocked nonetheless. Hey, hopefully Kalen DeBoer turns it around because I'm a person that cares about my reputation, and that can't be good. It's like you're at Bama. You're following Nick. You're following Nick Saban. That's like whatever coach goes to the Patriots, or when Andy Reid retires, you go to Kansas City. You cannot. I repeat, you cannot. You got to hit the ground running. You have to. You have to hit the ground running. That's like completely unfair, and it's unfair, but you're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to put up with it. It is what it is, right? Looking at some other games, Ohio State and Texas. You know what, y'all look. Obviously, Arch Manning had a bad day at the office, right? Obviously he did. Obviously he had a bad day at the office. 17 of 30 for 170 yards, one touchdown. So they scored 7 points in 4 quarters. It was a defensive game because there was a total of 21 points scored, and it just so happened that Ohio State scored an extra 7 in the fourth. So I mean, obviously, both teams had a long day at the office. Texas's was just a smidge longer than Ohio State's, right? So Arch Manning, everybody look. Let's see how this season plays out. Okay. Let's just see how the season plays out. See how he deals with the adversity of coming off of a game like this against the national champions, which that's what Ohio State is. We beat them. They were like, okay, first Oregon, now Michigan. We should have beat both of them. Let's go out there and show them who we really are. That and a smidge of trying to plant the flag after the Ohio State Michigan game. I digress. Added some fuel to the fire and made it really bad on everybody that came into contact with Ohio State after that. So it is what it is. Give Manning give the purists knew. The purists had to know. Hopefully they knew. Hopefully somebody other than me had enough sense to understand what happened against Ohio State was not shocking. You had to have a feeling that that's the way it was going to go. Yes, he comes from a lineage, mostly Peyton, but he comes from a lineage of NFL level quarterbacks. But that don't mean that's what he gonna be. Ask LeBron, and that's not me taking a shot. This is me being real. Bronny can play basketball, but Bronny probably would have done him some good because the signs was kind of there when he got to college. That him going straight to the NBA probably wasn't the best idea. But they did it. They did it for LeBron. They did it. They did it. They did it for LeBron. They did it all for LeBron. Sorry, that's a really bad Rikishi Rock running over Stone Cold bit. Sorry. Let's just let the season. Let's see what next week looks like, and the next week after that looks like. Give the kid a chance. Give the kid an honest chance to grow and actually become what the hype train says he is. Now that you've seen if he plays high level competition, could be a long day at the office that he comes up on the losing end on, right? Okay. So, again, they played New Mexico. Shout out to my Wolverines. They won too. That LSU Clemson game was good. I was thinking that Brian Kelly was gonna be in the same boat. Him and Kalen DeBoer, they was gonna be rowing in the same boat. And Brian Kelly said, "Nah, nope, not today, not today, my friend. No, 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 no." Sorry, shout out to the Winers. Great song. Um, uh, so let's look over some other scores real quick before we move on. There we go. Georgia Georgia beat all kinds of breaks off of Marshall, and Oregon had no issues with Montana State. There was a lot of spankings going on. Granted, it wasn't against superior competition. Miami, you know what? That Miami Notre Dame game, that Miami Notre Dame game was really good. Shame on Notre Dame for not getting it in gear sooner because I felt like they should have won that game. So and the parts of the South Carolina Virginia Tech game I that I watched was really good too. But with that, we are we are going to check the new AP poll before we move on. And looks like Penn State is moved up to number 2, and Ohio State is number 1 now. And Texas fell to 7. Clemson is 8. Notre Dame is 9. South Carolina is 10. Ah, Michigan, Michigan, and my Seminoles, they in the top 15. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Oh, let's see how long they stay there though. I don't mind my teams. I don't mind my team. Florida State's rated now because they weren't rated before they played Alabama. Alabama fell to 21. So let's see here. Illinois is 11. Arizona State is 12. Florida's 13. I said Florida State and Michigan were 14 and 15. Oh, Iowa State is 16. SMU is 17. Oklahoma is 18. Texas A&M is 19. Ole Miss at 20. We spoke about Bama being 21, Tennessee is 22, Indiana is 23, Texas Tech is 24, and Utah rounds out the top 25. Now, that was in the AP poll. The AFCA coaches poll has Penn State 1, has a Ohio State 1, Penn State 2. They opposite of the AP poll. Georgia is 3rd on the coaches poll, but they're 4th on the AP poll. And LSU is 3rd on the AP poll, and they're 4th. And then looks like Miami is 5th on the AP poll, whereas they're 7th on the coaches poll, and Texas is 6th instead of 7th. And Oregon is 5th instead of 6th. And then 8, 9 on both polls is Clemson and Notre Dame. But on the coaches poll, Arizona State is 10th, where South Carolina is 10th. Whoa, 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 whoa. Back up that train. On the coaches poll, my Wolverines are 13th. Let's see. Florida State's 19th. Ole Miss is Illinois is 12th, and South Carolina is 11th on the coaches poll. Yeah, so go check out those coaches polls on ESPN, because there are some certain differences. Heck, on the coaches poll, BYU is 25th instead of Utah, and Indiana is 21st instead of 23rd. Texas A&M is and Texas Tech are right next to each other at 22 and 23, where on the AP poll, they're 19th and 24th. Oklahoma is 18th on the AP and 24th on the coaches. So yeah, there are some interesting differences. Iowa State, I hate that slide down screen. It's always interrupting stuff. But anyway, I'm gonna pull something from the group chat, from the United World of Sports group chat. It was something that Steve Spurrier said about Georgia playing South Carolina. He said, "I don't know. I sort of always like playing them that second game because you could always count on them having 2 or 3 key players suspended. You you use whatever strategy you can, right? It's like that's wow. That's that's a strategy. That's I mean, and it's a good strategy because you don't have to do anything illegal. All you have to do is just make sure you show up and make sure all your players show up, because you know the team that you're playing against, they're probably gonna have some players missing uh for whatever reason, right? Go back back into the group because there was a whole bunch of stuff. Speaking of Manning, there was a picture somebody had there was a meme that somebody made, and it was a picture of Eli and Peyton during the Pro Bowl, and they're standing there talking, and Peyton's pointing to his right at J Hershey 21. I'm guessing he's the one that made this. And when Peyton's pointing above his head is typed the words he's adopted, talking about Archie and on his performance against Ohio State, which I'm sorry, I don't care who we are, that's funny. Obviously there were people that had a lot to say about the whole Archie Manning thing. Guys were doing like reaction videos, and it downright hilarious, right? So, but enough about college. Let's talk about the NFL. I'm going to officially post these tonight. If not tonight, then I'll do it on Wednesday. I'll do it by Wednesday in time for the games on Thursday. Feel free to go to United World of Sports group and chime in your team wins, whoever down, and it's all in fun. Ain't gonna be no money. It's just a lot of smack talk and fun. You post your picks, then go back at the end of the week and see how you did. And like I said, I want my page to be fun. I want my page to be fun. I want people to come together. I want to create friendships. Yes, talk yo smack, but keep it respectful. We can respect each other and have fun. It ain't got to be about all this. It's a game. I've said it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Nobody should be enemies with anybody over football, basketball, cricket, football, none of it. We should be able to come together. You cheer for your team. I cheer for my team. You talk your smack about the flaws of your team. I talk smack about the flaws of your team. You talk smack about the flaws of my teams. And everybody just have fun. See you next week. That's the way it should be. And unfortunately, that's not the way it is. But with that, we're gonna get started. So, speaking of, I'm interested. I will make sure that I am home to watch the Dallas Philadelphia game to make sure I can watch it. I got Philly on this one though. I got Philly on this because there's too many questions on offense that you ain't gonna know what it's gonna look like, how it's gonna pan out until everybody gets out there. So I got Dallas. I got Philly over Dallas. Even though I am intrigued and I will pay as much attention as I can to as many games as I can to the Dallas Cowboys. Kansas City Chargers. I look at the Chiefs like I used to look at my Patriots. Look here, you could talk all the smack about who better and who gonna take over the division. Now it's time to put up or shut up. And until it's official, I got Kansas City. So I got Kansas City over the Chargers. No offense to Mr. Harbaugh. I met the guy. I met the guy a couple years ago at the combine. Totally nice dude. Hopefully, I can really grow my brand and actually be able to interview him on on my brand on this show, or I plan on trying to see if maybe I can create like a individual football show. I'm thinking about it. But there's that thing called time in a day. So with that, we're gonna move on. Tampa Bay versus Atlanta. Love all these first week out the door division rivalry games. Love it because you got to go out there and play. That's the biggest reason why I love it, because you have to go out there and play. You have to come out there and win week one. I love it. You can't just take it off and go, oh, this is just a conference rival. Oh, this is an interconference rival. No, you got to come out and be like, okay, yeah, we got to be ready. Ready, set, let's go. Beat down, commence. Right? So we got Tampa Bay versus Atlanta. I'm kind of impartial to Tampa Bay. Not sure. I know Penix looked good near the end of the season, but now he's the official starter. Now the pressure is officially on. Is pressure gonna bust pipes, or is he gonna show that later in the season success was an actual bona fide diamond? We'll see. I got Tampa Bay though. I got so that's recap Philly, Kansas City, Tampa Bay. Next week, as dysfunctional as that defense is for the Cincinnati Bengals, I'm gonna go with them this week against Cleveland because I'm just not sure that with all the craziness that is going on in Cleveland, that they're gonna be ready to play. I hope they are because every team is supposed to be ready, but we'll see, right? Now, next game. I got, you know what? I'm going out on a limb on this one because either one of these teams could win this game. And actually that applies to the last actually applies to every game that I've talked about except for Dallas and Philly. That's the only one that I'm basically sure that for sure Philly is winning that one. But Miami versus Indianapolis, I'm going with Indianapolis because as crazy as things got in Indy, I don't think they're anything close to as dysfunctional as what's going on in Miami. And I have a feeling that dysfunction is going to leak to the field, unfortunately, for Dallas, for the Miami Dolphins fans. Next game up, my Pats taking on the Raiders. This is a recap of this is a rematch of the Tuck Rule game. Charles Woodson still got screwed on that. I digress. I'm going with my Patriots. I would not be surprised if Vegas were to somehow pull us out because I think New England is up on the uptick, but not so far up on the uptick that they can't lose to the Raiders this Sunday. So, but I hope my guys show up. Everybody got new coaches. Everybody made improvements to their offense and their defense for both teams. That's going to be an interesting game that I definitely, if there's a way for me to keep up with it, I definitely am going to try to. So, um, next up, Arizona versus New Orleans. I got Arizona. Uh, uh, New Orleans got a lot of work to do in terms of like improving their team, and unfortunately, if they don't come out ready on week one, then the defense is going to spend more time on the field, which is going to make Kyler look good, and I believe that that's going to be the key um, to Arizona being able to win that game. Now, another game I am paying attention to, not just Dallas and Philly. I'm paying attention to Pittsburgh and the Jets, baby. Oh, yeah. Aaron spent two unfortunate years with the Jets, and now they're playing Pittsburgh, where he is now, week one. Um, does Aaron still feel like he was disrespected because he actually had to get on a plane to go see his boss face to face to find out he was fired? I'm not gonna go into that to the ridiculousness of that conversation right now. But and then are the Jets and the players that are still there going to feel some kind of way because things didn't exactly go the way that they should have gone with Aaron there. Do they have a chip on their shoulder about that? What's going to happen with Justin Fields? Because he seems to have digressed the further he gets away from Chicago. Weird, right? Um, so I'm definitely paying attention to that. Uh, you know what? I'm I'm paying attention to New York too. Yeah, I'm paying attention to a lot of these teams because so here's the thing. We could say whatever we want, however we feel about players. I don't know Russ personally. Clearly, there's a pattern where his personality don't exactly vibe with everybody, and I would love to know why. Um, what is it exactly that he does that makes people feel that way about him? Uh, I still say if the offensive line had like uh played Humpty Dumpty the last 5 weeks, Pittsburgh was looking like they was gonna be something ugly at the playoffs with Russ at the helm. And miss me with the stuff about Fields. He wasn't throwing the ball down the field like Russ was, and that's what Tomlin wanted. He wanted to run a style of offense where the team wasn't defense reliant, and that's what Russ gave them until the offensive line started 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 having chemistry and I believe injury issues, and they just like fell apart the longer the season went, and it was unfortunate. So, but in that game, I'm going to take. Part of me wants to take Jade. Let me look at something real quick. I'm going to look at preseason defense defensive rankings. Okay, so I got this from WSN. Carolina's uh Carolina's defense is ranked 32. Titans is 31. Saints is 30. Raiders are 29th. Falcons are 28th. The Colts are 27th. Patriots are 26th. Jaguars 25th. Uh Commanders are 24th. Jets are 23rd. Again, these are postseason, preseason, sorry. Dolphins are 22. Bengals. The Browns round up the top 20. The Cardinals are 19. Get this thing off my screen so I can keep reading. The Giants are 18th. Buccaneers are 17th. The Chicago Bears are well, question is what is Dallas's defense now that Micah's gone? Because this current ranking was with Micah with the Cowboys that were 15th, and the 49ers were 14th, and the Rams were 13th, the 12 man Seattle Seahawks 12 man. Anyway, 11 is the Chargers, 10th is the Chiefs. Wow. Uh, Pittsburgh Steelers are ninth. The Green Bay Packers are eighth. Minnesota is seventh. Texans are sixth. Uh, the Lions round out the top five. Then there's the Bills, the Broncos. The Eagles are number two, and number one, the Ravens. I think their defense is going to show up, and they're gonna create. I think the upsets are going to leak over into the NFL. So I'm going to go with the Giants on this one. So recap, I'm going with Eagles, Chiefs, Bucks, Bengals, Colts, Pats, Cardinals, Steelers, Giants, And then Carolina versus Jacksonville. Jacksonville better win this doggone game. Duval. um, they better win that doggone game. Uh, good luck to Bryce Young. Hopefully, he could stay their starting quarterback the entire season. Uh, next week, not the next week. Next game is Denver versus Tennessee. I feel bad for Cam Ward on this one. I'm going with the Broncos. San Francisco versus Seattle. I'm gonna go with San Francisco. Seattle, prove me wrong if you can. Good luck to Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's over there in Seattle. Let's see if what the chemistry is like with him and the offensive line, and see if he can improve on getting the ball out of his hands and not holding on to it and getting himself sacked, trying to go for the big play. Detroit versus Green Bay. I'm going to go with Detroit. That division is anybody's to win, but until somebody shows that they can beat Detroit, because there were some games that they should have lost last year. Rams and Houston. I need to know the status of Matthew Stafford and his back. So I'm gonna go with the Rams. Hopefully Stafford is in there. But I'm gonna go with the Rams. Buffalo versus Baltimore. I know that they made some improvements on defense, but I'm gonna go with Buffalo. Although I won't be surprised if the Ravens do beat them, because obviously they ain't no slouches and they do have a team. But I I just there's something about Josh Allen and what he's been able to do, and he's coming off of winning the MVP. He's got to step up and show that was in fact deserved to him. Last but not least, another division rivalry game. Good luck to my Michigan dude, JJ McCarthy. Uh, I'm going with Minnesota on this one. Caleb is going to need to vastly improve. I don't think they're going to be able to pull that off and get him to do it by Monday night on the 8th. Hopefully he plays better and he does improve, because if not, that's going to be a long game, especially if JJ McCarthy pulls a Jay Daniels, and all the kudos that McCarthy got from Justin Jefferson was actually for real. And McCarthy is a good quarterback and has good chemistry with Jefferson. That's going to be a long night for everybody in the Chicago uniform on defense, right? So there are my picks. Hopefully this is an awesome NFL season. I'm ready for some football. Hopefully everybody else is ready for some football. And with that, we're going to end this week's show right there. Hopefully I kept it entertaining for you in the absence of Mr. J. And we'll see you guys next week. It'll be me, Mr. J, and a whole bunch more sports to talk about. United World of Sports, Dante Suave. Deuces.